The beginning of any true journey always starts quietly, almost imperceptibly, with a gentle stirring deep within. This is the moment when your inner self, your soul, begins to whisper to you, nudging you towards something greater than the life you have been living. It is subtle, so subtle that many people overlook it, dismiss it, or mistake it for random thought. But those who are willing to pause, to listen, begin to notice a soft awareness rising from within. A sense that there is more to life than mere routine or expectation. Jung believed that the psyche is always communicating with us, that there is a deep intelligence within that constantly guides us, but most people are too distracted by the external world to hear it. This inner whisper, this first call from the spirit, marks the true beginning of a journey towards self-discovery, purpose, and authenticity. It is the moment when the soul begins reaching out to the conscious mind, asking you to awaken to what is possible within yourself. At first, the call may be hard to recognize. It does not come with instructions, guarantees, or clarity. It is often felt as a restlessness, a quiet dissatisfaction, or a sense that something essential is missing. You may be living a life that appears comfortable, stable, or even successful by societal standards, yet you feel a subtle tug at your heart, a longing for something deeper. This is the soul's way of reminding you that life is meant to have depth, meaning, and resonance with your true self. It is not a call to reject what you have, but an invitation to explore what lies beyond the surface of ordinary existence. The spirit calls not with urgency or alarm, but with a gentle insistence, a persistent feeling that grows stronger the more you pay attention. Recognizing this call requires stillness. The modern world is filled with noise, distraction, and constant stimulation that drown out the quiet voice of the soul. To hear it, you must create moments of reflection. Moments where you turn inward and allow yourself to feel without judgment. This may happen during a quiet morning, a long walk, a moment of contemplation, or even in the midst of routine, when your mind begins to drift beyond the surface. In these moments, you sense a question forming within you. Is this all there is? What is truly mine? What is my purpose? These questions are not coincidences. They are the call of the spirit nudging you toward awareness. The more you sit with these questions, the more clearly you begin to hear the whisper of your inner voice. The call of the spirit is often accompanied by a subtle sense of urgency, not the kind that produces panic, but a deep, pressing awareness that time is precious and that life is meant to be lived with authenticity. You may feel a gentle discomfort when you ignore it, a sense of unease that lingers at the edge of your awareness. This is not a flaw or weakness. It is the soul signaling that you are out of alignment with your true nature. Every human being experiences moments like this, yet many go through life attempting to silence these stirrings with distractions, busyness, or the pursuit of superficial goals. Ignoring the call only leads to a slow erosion of energy and a deepening sense of emptiness. But those who pay attention find that this initial awareness is the first key step toward transformation. The spirit does not speak in words alone. It communicates through feelings, intuition, and symbolic experiences. You may find that you are drawn to certain ideas, practices, or people in ways that cannot be explained logically. You may feel a resonance with a particular path, an inspiration, or even a dream that surfaces repeatedly. Jung believed that these are not coincidences but meaningful signals from the unconscious, messages that point toward your authentic self. The first call is the invitation to start paying attention to these signals, to begin trusting the subtle guidance that comes from within. Even small experiences, when noticed with care, can be part of the spirit's call, nudging you toward awareness. Acknowledging the call also requires courage. At this stage, you may realize that listening to the inner voice means questioning everything you have accepted as normal or comfortable. It may require you to reconsider your career, relationships, lifestyle, or long-held beliefs. This initial recognition is both exhilarating and intimidating because it opens a space of possibility that cannot be fully controlled. The unknown feels frightening, yet it carries with it a promise of freedom, growth, and deeper fulfillment. The Spirit calls you forward, not to an easy path, but to a path that aligns with the truest aspects of your being. It asks you to step beyond conformity, beyond fear, and beyond what is safe or expected. This awakening also brings a heightened sensitivity to life itself. As you notice the call, you begin to perceive patterns, coincidences, and meaningful moments that previously went unnoticed. You may feel inspired by art, music, literature, nature, or even ordinary human interactions in a way that seems profound. These experiences are often the first indicators that your spirit is responding and that your inner awareness is expanding. Jung described this process as the unconscious guiding the conscious mind toward growth and wholeness. When you pay attention, life itself begins to teach you, nudging you gently toward decisions and experiences that cultivate awareness, authenticity, and alignment. The first call is not just about self-discovery, it is about awakening to the interconnectedness of life. As you hear the inner voice, you begin to sense that your actions, choices, and presence carry significance beyond immediate outcomes. You realize that living authentically impacts not only your own growth, but also the people and the world around you. This understanding deepens the importance of responding to the call, not with hesitation or avoidance, but with conscious attention. The Spirit asks you to engage, to explore, and to step into a larger version of yourself. It invites you to cultivate awareness, honesty, and courage in every decision, small or large. Finally, the first call is a foundation for the journey ahead. It marks the point where the soul begins leading, where the inner voice begins offering direction, and where life starts to shift from being purely reactive to being intentional. It is the moment of awakening, the spark that ignites curiosity, courage, and self-reflection. By recognizing the call, by acknowledging its presence, and by allowing yourself to be moved by it, you take the first conscious step toward answering the deeper questions of your existence. From this place, the next stage naturally unfolds, learning to trust the inner guide and to follow the subtle compass of the Spirit, step by step, toward your authentic path. Once the quiet call of the Spirit has been recognized, the next step is learning to trust it. Awareness alone is not enough, because the inner voice often asks you to move in ways that contradict old habits, familiar routines, or societal expectations. Trusting the inner guide means developing a relationship with yourself where you believe in your own intuition, your own instincts, and the subtle wisdom that arises from within. Jung believed that the unconscious constantly communicates with the conscious mind, but many of us have been conditioned to dismiss these messages as irrelevant, impractical, or even irrational. This stage is about reversing that conditioning and cultivating confidence in the guidance that comes from your own soul. Trust does not develop instantly. It begins as a faint sense that the direction your inner voice suggests is correct, even if you cannot yet see the entire path. At first, you may feel uncertain or hesitant. The voice may ask you to consider changes in your life that feel risky or uncomfortable. You might feel fear, self-doubt, or resistance. And those feelings are natural because they come from the parts of you that are attached to safety and familiarity. Trusting the inner guide requires acknowledging these fears without letting them dictate your choices. It is about holding both courage and caution, allowing them to coexist as you learn to act from a deeper knowing. As you practice trust, you begin noticing patterns and signals that confirm the guidance you are receiving. Perhaps certain ideas, opportunities, or experiences begin to appear repeatedly. Maybe people enter your life at the right moment, or or you encounter insights that resonate strongly with your inner awareness. These synchronicities are not coincidences, they are the universe responding to your alignment with your inner voice. Jung often emphasized the importance of noticing these meaningful coincidences, as they act as confirmation that your soul's guidance is real and reliable. The more you acknowledge and follow these signals, the stronger your trust becomes. Another aspect of trust is patience. The inner voice rarely gives a full roadmap, it provides one step at a time. You may not know how everything will unfold or what the ultimate outcome will be, and this uncertainty can feel uncomfortable. But trusting the guide means taking action based on the clarity that is available in the present moment rather than waiting for perfect understanding. Each small step strengthens your connection with your inner self and builds the confidence that your decisions, guided by the Spirit, will lead you where you are meant to go. Learning to trust also involves discernment. Not every impulse or thought comes from the deepest part of your being. Some arise from fear, ego, or external pressures. As you practice listening, you begin to distinguish between the voice of the true self and the voices of doubt or conditioning. The voice of the Spirit feels steady, gentle, and consistent, even in moments of challenge. It is not demanding, manipulative, or hurried. It communicates with a clarity that resonates with your core, creating a sense of alignment and integrity. Developing the ability to discern this voice from other internal chatter is a crucial part of building trust. Trusting your inner guide is also intertwined with courage. Often, following the inner voice asks you to step into the unknown, to act in ways that may seem risky or unfamiliar. This courage is not recklessness. It is the willingness to honor the truth you sense within yourself despite uncertainty or fear. Each time you act in alignment with your inner guidance, trust deepens. You begin to see that your inner wisdom is reliable, that it leads to growth, learning, and experiences that expand your understanding of yourself and the world. The more you practice trust, the more natural it becomes to respond to the inner call without hesitation. Through this process, a profound shift begins to take place. You start living in greater harmony with your own rhythm, desires, and values. Decisions that once felt heavy or conflicted become clearer and more aligned. You become less dependent on external validation or approval because you are learning to rely on your own inner compass. This growing trust creates a sense of freedom and empowerment as you recognize that the answers you have been seeking have always existed within you. The outer world may still present challenges, but your sense of direction remains steady because it is rooted in your own inner knowing. As trust strengthens, you naturally move toward the next stage, listening deeply. The inner guide is always present, but it requires attentive, conscious listening to receive its full message. Trust lays the foundation for this deeper listening, allowing you to notice the subtleties, nuances, and patterns in your inner experiences. You begin to understand that the journey is not only about acting on guidance, but about cultivating an ongoing dialogue with your own soul. This dialogue forms the bridge between awareness and purposeful action, creating a continuous flow of insight, alignment, and growth that will guide you through every stage of your journey. As you begin to trust your inner guide, the next stage of the journey naturally unfolds, learning to listen deeply. Listening is more than simply hearing thoughts or feelings. It is the process of tuning into the subtle currents of your own consciousness and distinguishing the voice of the Spirit from the noise of the mind. In the modern world, there is an almost constant bombardment of distractions, obligations, and external input, making it easy to overlook the quiet nudges of your inner self. Jung emphasized that the unconscious communicates in symbols, intuition, and subtle impressions, rather than straightforward instructions. Learning to listen requires creating space, mental, emotional, and spiritual, where these messages can be perceived clearly. This deep listening is a practice that takes patience and attention. At first, it may feel like nothing is happening, or the messages you perceive may seem vague or contradictory. You may notice fleeting insights, brief inspirations, or emotional responses that you don't fully understand. Rather than dismissing them, the key is to cultivate awareness and observe without judgment. Each time you give attention to these subtle signals, you strengthen your ability to discern the true voice of the inner self. Listening is not about controlling or forcing clarity. It is about being receptive, allowing the guidance to emerge naturally as your consciousness becomes more attuned. As your capacity to listen grows, you begin noticing patterns and recurring themes that point toward your authentic path. These may appear in dreams, sudden insights, intuitive feelings, or even in the coincidences and synchronicities of daily life. Jung referred to these as meaningful coincidences, and he believed they are signposts from the unconscious guiding you toward individuation, the process of becoming fully yourself. By paying attention to these patterns, you start seeing connections between your inner experiences and your external reality, which provides deeper insight into your purpose and direction. Deep listening also reveals the areas where you have been ignoring or suppressing aspects of yourself. Often the parts of us that are hidden, denied, or repressed hold crucial messages about our growth. When you truly listen, you may become aware of long-held fears, desires, or unresolved emotions that influence your thoughts and actions. This is not a process of self-criticism, but of observation and understanding. By recognizing these hidden influences, you gain clarity about how they shape your life and begin to integrate them into a more complete awareness of yourself. Developing the skill of listening is closely linked to stillness and presence. The mind tends to fill every moment with activity, judgment, or planning, which can drown out subtle intuitive messages. By practicing stillness through meditation, quiet reflection, journaling, or simply mindful attention to your surroundings, you create an environment where the inner voice can emerge. These moments of quiet allow you to notice the small, often overlooked nudges that guide your decisions and reveal the deeper wisdom of your unconscious. Listening becomes not only a skill but a way of being, a continuous awareness of the inner currents of your life. Another important aspect of deep listening is patience. The inner voice rarely provides immediate answers or a complete roadmap for your life. Often, it offers one insight at a time, guiding you gradually toward alignment with your purpose. Patience allows you to trust the process and to recognize that understanding unfolds in its own time. As you cultivate patience, the messages become clearer, and your confidence in your own guidance grows. You learn that the path is revealed step by step, not in a single moment of certainty. Listening deeply also strengthens your capacity for intuition. When you consistently pay attention to your inner guidance, you begin to recognize the difference between fleeting thoughts driven by fear, desire, or ego, and the quiet, steady voice of the spirit. This discernment is crucial because it allows you to respond with clarity rather than react impulsively. Over time, intuition becomes a reliable compass, directing your choices and helping you navigate challenges with awareness and wisdom. As your listening deepens, you begin to notice that the inner voice is not separate from your conscious self. It is an extension of your own true nature. The more you listen, the more you understand that your soul has been speaking all along, patiently waiting for your attention. Each insight, each subtle feeling, and each intuitive nudge is an invitation to align more fully with who you are meant to become. This stage prepares you for the next step, where you begin engaging with the deeper, often hidden aspects of your psyche, exploring the unconscious layers that hold the keys to your growth and transformation. As you continue developing the ability to listen deeply, the journey naturally leads you to confront and engage with the deeper layers of your psyche, the parts of yourself that often remain hidden or unconscious. Jung believed that the unconscious is not simply a repository of forgotten memories or repressed emotions. It is a vast source of wisdom, creativity, and guidance. It contains the truths of your inner world that are waiting to be recognized and integrated. At this stage, answering the inner call means turning inward with courage and curiosity to meet these hidden parts of yourself, even those you may have feared or avoided for years. Engaging with the unconscious can be both illuminating and challenging. You may encounter thoughts, feelings, or desires that feel unfamiliar, uncomfortable, or even frightening. These are often parts of yourself that have been suppressed because they conflicted with societal expectations, past experiences, or your own self-judgments. Rather than rejecting them, this stage asks you to approach them with compassion and openness. Jung emphasized that the shadow, the parts of yourself you deny or hide, is not something to be feared, but something to be acknowledged and understood. Within it lies energy, insight, and the potential for profound personal growth. This process often begins through reflection, introspection, and paying attention to dreams, fantasies, and emotional responses. Dreams, in particular, are a primary way the unconscious communicates, often using symbolic language to convey messages that your conscious mind cannot yet understand directly. By observing patterns, recurring themes, and symbols in your dreams, you start to decode the guidance your deeper self is offering. Emotional responses, especially strong reactions, can also signal unconscious material surfacing for attention. These reactions are not random. They are messages inviting you to explore what lies beneath the surface. Facing the unconscious requires courage, because it often challenges your current sense of identity. You may discover aspects of yourself that contradict the image you have carefully constructed or that expose vulnerabilities you have avoided. Yet confronting these aspects is essential for growth. Each recognition of a hidden part of yourself is an opportunity to reclaim energy that was previously bound up in fear, denial, or suppression. By acknowledging these parts without judgment, you integrate them into your conscious awareness, creating a stronger, more cohesive sense of self. This stage also deepens your understanding of your inner guidance. The more you engage with the unconscious, the clearer it becomes that the inner voice you have been learning to trust is intimately connected with these hidden aspects. The guidance you receive is not external. It arises from a dialogue between your conscious self and the deeper wisdom stored within. Listening alone is no longer sufficient. You must now act on the insights that emerge from this exploration. This is where courage and trust intersect, as the unconscious often directs you toward growth that requires moving beyond comfort and familiarity. Engaging with the unconscious also brings creativity and insight. Many of the solutions, ideas, and inspirations that shape your life emerge from this deep internal reservoir. Jung believed that the creative potential of the psyche is unlocked when we allow ourselves to explore its depths. By integrating unconscious material, you gain access to hidden resources of imagination, intuition, and problem-solving. These gifts are not merely for personal gain. They enhance your capacity to contribute meaningfully to the world and live in alignment with your purpose. The process is ongoing. You will continue to encounter new layers of the unconscious throughout your life, each offering lessons, insights, and opportunities for growth. The key is to remain receptive and compassionate, treating each discovery as part of a dialogue rather than a judgment. As you deepen your relationship with your unconscious, you also strengthen your connection with the inner voice, creating a continuous flow of guidance that informs your decisions, relationships, and actions. This engagement naturally prepares you for the next stage, where courage becomes central. Confronting the unconscious is not enough on its own. You must now take the insights, awareness, and understanding you have gained and translate them into action. Courage is the force that bridges inner understanding with outer transformation, allowing you to move beyond fear and limitation and live authentically in alignment with the wisdom of your deeper self. Through this integration of listening, understanding, and courageous action, your journey continues toward the fulfillment of your soul's calling. Once you have explored the depths of your unconscious and begun integrating the hidden aspects of yourself, the journey naturally moves into the realm of courage. The courage to take meaningful action based on the insights you have gained. At this stage, the inner voice you have been learning to trust is no longer just a whisper. It becomes a guiding force that calls you to step beyond comfort and familiarity. Courage, in this sense, is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite uncertainty, hesitation, or doubt. Jung emphasized that true growth arises when we confront what is unknown within ourselves and in our lives, and courage is the bridge that allows inner understanding to manifest outwardly. Taking action in alignment with your inner guidance often requires significant changes. You may be asked to alter routines, release relationships, shift your priorities, or embrace new opportunities that feel unfamiliar. These changes can provoke anxiety, resistance, and self-doubt, but they also carry immense potential for transformation. Each step taken in alignment with your authentic self strengthens your sense of agency and reinforces the reliability of your inner voice. The courage to act validates the trust you have cultivated and transforms abstract insights into tangible progress on your journey. This stage is also about consistency. Courage is not a single heroic act. It is a continuous commitment to living authentically, moment by moment. It is choosing, repeatedly, to follow the guidance of your inner self, rather than defaulting to fear, habit, or external expectation. Each courageous choice, no matter how small, builds resilience and confidence, creating a foundation for deeper alignment with your purpose. Over time, these consistent acts of courage become a way of life, shaping your character and reinforcing your connection with the spirit within. An important aspect of this stage is understanding that setbacks and challenges are natural. Courage does not guarantee a smooth path. In fact, obstacles often arise precisely because you are stepping into unfamiliar territory. These challenges are not signs of failure, but opportunities to strengthen your inner resolve, refine your awareness, and deepen your understanding of yourself. Each difficulty met with courage reinforces the reliability of your inner guidance and solidifies your sense of self-trust, preparing you for greater alignment in the next stages of your journey. Courage also enables you to express your authentic self outwardly. As you take action based on your inner voice, you begin to live in a way that reflects your true values, desires, and purpose. This authenticity transforms not only your internal experience, but also your interactions with the world. Relationships become more meaningful, decisions feel clearer, and your life begins to align with the deeper currents of your being. The courage to follow the inner call allows you to step fully into your own power while remaining connected to the guidance of the Spirit. At this stage, you may also notice that your perception of fear changes. Fear is no longer an obstacle that stops you. It becomes a signal that growth is taking place. When fear arises, you recognize it as a reminder that you are moving toward something meaningful, and you choose to act despite it. Courage, therefore, is not the absence of fear, but the conscious decision to embrace it as part of the process. By reframing fear in this way, you transform it from a source of limitation into a catalyst for expansion. Ultimately, this stage prepares you for the final point of your journey, where action and courage converge into a full realization of alignment and purpose. The integration of listening, understanding, and courageous action sets the stage for the last step, embodying the wholeness and fulfillment that come from living in harmony with the guidance of your inner voice. By acting courageously on the insights of your inner self, you move closer to the experience of living authentically, fully, and in deep resonance with your soul's calling. As you step into this final stage, all the awareness, trust, listening, understanding, and courageous action you have cultivated begins to coalesce into a profound sense of wholeness. This is the point where the inner voice you have been following no longer feels distant or mysterious. It becomes an integral part of your daily life, guiding your choices, shaping your actions, and illuminating your path. Begin to experience the harmony that comes when your inner world and outer life are aligned, and you realize that the journey of answering the Spirit's call is not about reaching a final destination, but about living in continuous conscious relationship with yourself. Jung described this process as individuation, the ongoing integration of all aspects of the psyche into a unified, authentic self. At this stage, you can sense the truth of that integration, that your life, your actions, and your being are expressions of your deepest self. This stage brings with it a sense of liberation. You no longer feel fragmented or pulled in conflicting directions because you have learned to honor every part of yourself. The hidden fears, the suppressed desires, the unresolved conflicts that once dominated your inner world have been acknowledged and integrated, transforming them from obstacles into sources of strength. You have discovered that the shadow is not something to reject, but a source of insight, energy, and resilience. You feel empowered because you have learned to navigate the complexities of your inner life, to confront uncertainty, and to act with courage in alignment with your truth. This empowerment is subtle yet profound, providing a steady foundation from which you can engage with life authentically. Living in alignment with your inner voice also brings clarity and purpose. Decisions that once felt heavy, confusing, or fraught with doubt now emerge with confidence and ease because they resonate with your inner knowing. You act less from fear or obligation and more from a sense of authenticity, integrity, and purpose. This alignment transforms your relationships, your work, and your daily experiences. You attract people, opportunities, and circumstances that reflect and support your growth. Life itself seems to respond to your inner transformation, presenting experiences that further deepen your understanding and connection with your true self. Another dimension of this stage is the deep sense of peace that accompanies self-integration. It is not a superficial calm born of avoidance or denial, but a profound equilibrium that comes from knowing and accepting yourself fully. You no longer resist parts of your being or attempt to conform to external expectations at the expense of your truth. You are comfortable in your own skin, grounded in the knowledge that your life is being guided from within. This inner peace allows you to face challenges with resilience, to navigate uncertainty with confidence, and to maintain a sense of stability regardless of external circumstances. At the same time, this stage is a continuous invitation to growth. The inner voice continues to speak, offering guidance, inspiration, and challenges. Individuation is not a one-time achievement. It is a lifelong journey of alignment and self-discovery. Each moment offers an opportunity to refine your awareness, deepen your understanding, and act with courage. You learn that the Spirit's call is ongoing, evolving with your experiences and the unfolding of your life. By remaining attentive, receptive, and courageous, you continue to answer that call, step by step, day by day. Finally, this stage brings a profound sense of fulfillment and meaning. You recognize that living in alignment with your inner voice is the greatest gift you can give yourself. The journey is no longer about escaping fear, seeking validation, or conforming to expectations. It is about embracing your full potential, expressing your true self, and contributing to the world from a place of authenticity and purpose. You understand that the call you first sensed so subtly has guided you to a life that resonates with your deepest being, and in answering it, you have found a connection to yourself and to life that is enduring, transformative, and deeply satisfying. This is the culmination of the journey, living consciously, courageously and fully in response to the inner voice, knowing that your path is both your own and a reflection of the greater wisdom that has always guided you.